And we are live, George, and Catherine
Cool,
has
thank
joined us
you.
as well.
Cool, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Hope we're all doing well on this. No, it's not Friday. Thursday. We're mixing it up. So yeah, hope we're all having a good week. We are. We're all walking in a Kiwi Wonderland. Apart from she could have signed for another 9 years, but we'll come to that later. So we're gonna obviously chat about the best midfielder to ever exist in Kimmy Little. We'll chat about how we beat Chelsea. Evening, Gav. I hope you're tucking in. So, Gav, you're close to your Chelsea special show with my Sonia Tuna Pasta Mask. You're close. You're close. Um, so yeah, and then we'll look forward to the North London derby. So I'm going to introduce you to my guests. Laura, how are you doing, mate? You okay?
Yeah, I'm all good now that a Scottish legend has signed for another year, which I said before we came live that they've made a mistake there because that should have been 10 years. So yeah, I'm buzzing with that one. That obviously that deal has been obviously done and dusted, and it sounds like it's been dusted for a little while. So yeah, I'm happy with that one.
Yeah, I wonder what Scottish legend you meant now. I thought you meant Mel ain't signed for someone, is she? So yeah. But yeah,
Um,
absolute absolute good move. I think it, like you said, it was expected for a while. Catherine, how you doing?
Oh, doing good. Was bouncing from meeting to meeting at work, and had a brief little pause in there that I could see the great Kim Little signing or announcing that she was signing. So
Yeah.
a new contract. Can't complain there. That was the bright spot. Had to
Mm.
get done with work, and then I could focus on the fun stuff.
Yeah, surely work should realise that it is Kim Little Day today, so that's poor from
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Poor. Um, then also Amanda, how you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. Equally buzzing as everyone else. It was a nice surprise this evening to get that announcement. So that's great news.
Mm. I'm going to say it because Austin always winds me up. Yeah, absolutely buzzing, Austin, mate. Absolutely buzzing. Because no, basically, so it's a Russo thing. So when we was in the group chat, and I think we just after we won the Champions League, I was like, oh, I'm absolutely buzzing, mate. And so I'm surprised I ain't got my own meme yet, to be honest. But yeah, and also Ryan, how you doing, mate? Good to have you on.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. And yeah, brilliant week really from the women's point of view.
Yeah.
Beat West Ham, beat the Pretenders, and now Kimmy Little stay for another year.
I'm not gonna lie, I forgot we played West Ham. To be honest.
Busy week.
Yeah. I was there.
It was that good a game. It was that good of a game.
I really don't remember. I remember loads of goals. I think I was sitting next to Lewis. That was right. It was eventful.
God, where's he been?
Yeah, he's been at the last two games. He's reformed. I tell you. He's back. So yeah, and then hello to everyone in the chat. Who have we got, Laura?
We've got BX in, Common You Gunners.
Hi, mate.
Hadlad is in. And
Hi,
Hadlad,
mate.
I checked on your last fact from the last show that you said that Petrugi Harrow was back. And you were right, which I didn't realise she was back. So yeah. Dorian's in, he said hi.
Hey, Dorian.
Kevin said evening all.
Hey, Kev.
BX said yeah, the Arsenal storming through Europe.
Yeah, how we love it.
Just swiping away Chelsea like they're a wee fly buzzing around them. And Kevin said, "Happy Extension Day." I think we're all pretty happy with that one.
Yeah. I think I've done less swiping on my voiceover than we swiped Chelsea away the season. So,
I thought you were going to do it. I thought you were going to say you've done more swiping on Tinder recently. I was going to say, excuse me.
You do know I'm getting married like next year.
I know, that's why I was going to say, excuse me.
Completely innocent, me. Right. Let's chat about the best midfielder ever to exist, the Kimi Esther. of women's football.
I won't pull a
Um,
picture up, but it's saying I've got a bug in my computer, so I'm going to sort that one out.
Not Spurs computer, is it?
At that rate, it's acting like a Spurs fan.
Yeah. Cool. I'll start with you, Laura. Obviously, we had the interview today. The one-on-one interview for Kim where there was some very, very silly billies out there, weren't there, saying, "Oh, she might retire." Like, obviously, Arsenal Football Club are going to announce the best midfielder ever to exist retiring just before North London derby. So how obviously that was not going to happen. So done the interview. She announced that she's not done yet, signing for another year. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, as I mentioned when you obviously did the introductions, that we were happy with that one, but we also mentioned as well that before we came live, as you said, there was a few silly billies that used the R word. Oh, this could be the R word. I had confidence that that wasn't going to be a retirement. So yeah, I'm happy with that one. And obviously, being Scottish, it's nice to see that there's still at least going to be a Scottish person going into next season. Because at this rate, it doesn't look like a lot of Scottish are even going to be in the WSL soon. So, yeah, I'm happy with that one. I'm sure I can speak for everybody else in terms of we know what Kimmy can bring to Arsenal. And I think if that was to go next season, I could see Arsenal crumbling if we were to let Kimmy go. And of course, obviously, we know it's only a year extension, but in terms of that, I think that's in Kimmy's terms that she wants to see how much she can push year in and year out. So, yeah, we'll obviously see a few special things on Saturday for her as well, because not only has she just signed a contract, it's 400 appearances for the Arsenal, which is a lot of hours. Like if you add that up, that's a lot of hours of football for the Arsenal, especially for Kimmy Little. So yeah, and I think it's like 177 goals as well.
No, exactly right. It's she's had such a prestigious career, hasn't she? Catherine, obviously, like just echoing what Laura said, we probably would crumble without her. I think like as when you lose a club legend, luckily we haven't got to do that. But obviously she played in the NWSL, didn't she, as well? And what's your thoughts on the Kim extension and way she's playing at the minute? She doesn't need to retire, does she?
No, I don't think she needs to retire. I mean, I had voiced my concerns at the beginning of the season, just given her track record of like when she tends to get injuries, and which is always seems to be like towards the beginning of the season, better than the end. But I think it's exciting, and to Laura's point, to completely lose Kim Little and completely lose all of the leadership that she would have, or that she has at the club. It would be a massive transition on top of already going in through a transition with Renee fully being able to, implement what she wants to do at the club. And I think Kim had touched on it in the interview, because the question was asked, like, what is your relationship like with Renee, and the player coach relationship with that? And it's essentially a very strong relationship is what it boils down to. And I think that could have jeopardized the future of the club if she did R word this at the end of this season. Not going to be putting that out there anytime soon. But I don't know. I think the fans had lost on, oh, they're going to do a live Kimmy Little interview, and that's going to be the end result to it. I'm like, do you know this club at all? Because for them to make that announcement video at this point in the season and the congestion of the games does not make sense. If anything, it would be I'm signing a new contract because I am still good enough and better than let's face it, 70% of the players in the WSL, if not 80%.
Yeah, exactly. I thought
And
she
I'm talking all positions, not just
Yeah,
midfielders.
no. Yeah, I thought she was just going live to tell us she's won more than Tottenham, but
I mean, it did get thrown out there that she has won 17 trophies.
the dare is to do Tottenham. Ryan, I'll come to you. Obviously, like Dorian said, obviously Kim Little staying on another year does offer that stability when we are going to have some big moves in the summer window, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Again, it does. Even with the rumours of the Stanways, and then they've got the Leah Vaulty wanting to come back to the WSL, and it just takes a bit of pressure off not just the club but Renee as well. I've been saying this for a few weeks now on my watch longs and all that. Now we know that Renee's here for the long term, at very least, assuming everything goes well, for the next three and a half years. It takes the pressure off her for at least another year that she doesn't have to replace. She's got that stability there, that leadership there, and experience in that midfield still. That everyone, be it the old what we call the old guard, the other experienced players, or the players that come into the club, respect and look up to. That's huge when you think about it from any club's point of view, especially when you're seeing the pretenders, as I'm calling them this week. Basically, their captain wants to go to Man United. Apparently, he's working for United. I'm like, okay, and they're meant to be the best of the best English women's team ever, according to Barclays anyway. Only one team's done the quad, but it's not Chelsea. Only one team's done Champions League, it's not Chelsea.
Evening, Gav.
I'm waiting for him to pop up.
I think he hides from my shows now because he's like, how much crap I give him.
I think it's a brilliant move, and the R word that everyone's referring to. I agree, it would have been naive and stupid. And I think the announcement sums up Kim as well in terms of we saw it in the parade last season back in May. She's a woman, a player of very little words. She doesn't like, even as captain, doesn't like to have the final say or have it all about her. She's very humble and likes to just get to the point, get in, get out. And I think that was pretty much summed up. Even when, because I say Nicola's question was asked from the host Nicola, and she's just again straight to the point that I'm staying for another year. But it was very not even rehearsed. As I said, that I'm staying another year. And I think it's a smart move. No matter what business we do in the window, come the summer, with outgoings and incomings, especially in midfield, it was key to keep her for at least another year. I wouldn't be surprised if she does another, depending on how next season goes for her, because it's been, again, me and Catherine have been saying, especially at the start of the season, the amount of games she was playing at the start was concerning. Then she got her knocks, but she comes back and she's like, you see the difference we have in the midfield when she's in it compared to when she's out of it. She is so vital. And whoever we bring in to long-term take over her position in the long run, there's a lot of pressure taken off that player as well, whoever that may be. And it eases them in, gets them settled. So when the timing's right, whenever that may be, in the next year or two or whenever, the transition's easier. It's not just a matter of Kim, the announcement, Kim retires, whatever, this end of this season, and then we're throwing the next person to replace her under the bus and going, right, you've got to step up to the mark straight away. Whereas, as I say, this way, the person comes in, it's going to be understudy. Is the understudy. It's cool, calm, and collected, and we just get on with it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Coming to you, Amanda, before we wrap up the Kim Little conversation. Obviously, like we're saying, we are expected to have a busy transfer window. So, like Ryan has said, it is key for Kim to be there because she can. What other players and the young players that we've got, there's no one going to be better than learning from players like Kim Little, is there? Especially like if you look at players like Katie Reid, Michelle Adjiman, even Jessie Gale, them players.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's that side of things, but also she is still at the top of her game as well. Like, I think you could really tell earlier this season. I think she got a knock in the Leicester game and she was out for a month or so. And it wasn't a coincidence that we were quite shaky during that time. She's a top player. But like you have said, we are expecting a bit of a rebuild in the summer, and for her to be there, like the solid leader that she is, will give a bit of a real strong foundation for what might be, quite a transitional time. So I think it's good, and I agree with Ryan. Hopefully we'll get 1 year and she'll have a great year, and then we'll get another year. And yeah, she's absolutely top. What a legend and what a captain. Really good stuff.
Yeah, my captain. But yeah, so obviously all the Arsenal fans are absolutely buzzing. There you go, another one. With the Kim Little news. So she can get her presentation on Saturday. Obviously beat the Spurs again. Just like training for her. So and then hopefully we can move on to Humberland's certain team in Fulham next week. So talking about that, we'll talk about the Arsenal-Chelsea game at the Emirates, where the weather was shocking. Chelsea were all right.
George, are you sure that wasn't Chelsea tears?
Oh, yeah, probably. Now the Arsenal's on the beers, so you know what I mean. I'll come to you first, Catherine. Going into the Arsenal-Chelsea game, how was you feeling? And then obviously we saw the lineup. Was that expected for you?
I gotta pull the lineup back up, but I think it was fair. I think it was fairly expected. I was still very, very, very optimistic on what the outcome of the game was going to be, which was going to be some form of Chelsea slipping and falling on their asses, which, let's be fair, they did. Can't complain there. Let's see. I think my laptop is running slow. I think the only shock was maybe Fox starting instead of Smila, but and McCabe starting instead of Hines. I think the fullbacks were a little bit shocking, but not unsurprising given it being the first leg and it's against Chelsea and not Leuven or Benfica or any of the other. I don't want to call them lesser teams because they aren't lesser. It's
or
just
Man United.
Yeah. So I am glad that Smila did end up coming on. She just didn't come on for Fox, and McCabe had shifted over from playing fullback to center back. So I wouldn't say that there was really any shock in the lineup, but given the available players that we had, it was probably one of the best, if not the best, lineup that we could have, and still have quality rotation for second half subs.
Yeah, no, I agree. Laura, coming to you about that with Cadena starting. Obviously, we saw with not very much pace how much Alicia Thompson kind of ripped her a new one, really. Was that a bit of a worry for you in the first, say, 15, 20 minutes? But then obviously at halftime we saw Katie move across and Taylor come on, didn't we?
I don't specifically think that was just down to Laia Cadena's defending. I think that was specifically down to how hard Katie found it to track Alyssa Thompson, which we spoke about it on the watch along, that the reason Alyssa Thompson was put on that side was because Sonia Bonpaston knew that Katie wasn't going to be able to keep up with Alyssa Thompson's pace. And we all know, we say it time and time again, that Laia Cadena, yes, she has other abilities in terms of her defending, but pace isn't one of them. So I think Liar always seen herself caught out simply because Katie McCabe seen herself caught out as well. I wouldn't say it was. It's hard because, as I say, you can't just blame Laia Cadena for the way defending went in the first 15, 20 minutes of that game the other night. But looking at that defence and that lineup, you are kind of saying to yourself, we could be, and that's where my nerves kicked in when I genuinely it clicked that Laia Cadena was going to be starting the game along with Lotte Wibbemoy and Kate McCabe, and you're thinking to yourself, shit, we could be up shit street here if Katie and Laia don't have the pace up, and it proved it that they weren't able to keep up with the pace of Alyssa Thompson, and even at one point Lauren James, which I don't think is a very pacey player, but she's just a very tricky player. And then of course Laia Cadena goes and gets herself a yellow card, which I think was the best decision for her to do, because then that gave Renee the opportunity to then say, you know what, you need to come off. I don't think if Laia got that yellow card, she wouldn't have been off at half time. I think Renee would have stuck with that back line, and I think it would have been a very much more trickier game for Arsenal in the second half, because we've seen the way obviously Chelsea came out in the second half a bit more reluctant to obviously get that goal back. But yeah, Laia Cadena for me just isn't up to scratch where we need our defenders to be up to. And I've tried to give Laia every opportunity to be able to show, but we can't really say anymore now that, well, Laia really doesn't get game time for her to be able to get into the swing of things. She's getting on, she's getting game time, and it just doesn't seem to be picking up from my liking in terms of defending or whatever.
I just don't think she has the pace, to be honest, mate. I think
No,
that's
she's
where
not.
she gets. I think that's where she gets punished. Amanda, obviously, moving on to about Cadena. Obviously, next Tuesday, next Wednesday. Sorry. Would you be expecting to see Steph Catley back? Because I feel like personally that decision has probably been taken out of our hands. I think some of the people are going on like she's had to fly about 12 million miles and hasn't played for about 6 months. Like she has done this on international duty before, so surely Steph Catley just slots back in on next week, doesn't she?
I'd say so, yeah. I'd be expecting the Aussies to be available. Don't know the girl's name, I forget, but Man United fielded one of theirs that had been at the Asian Cup last night and seemed to do all right. So yeah, I'd fully expect Catley to be back. I thought Cadena was all right. But yeah, I think, as Laura said, the yellow card probably made the decision a little bit easier. And actually, I thought Katie did pretty well as a central defender, actually. You know, and it did all work out, didn't it? You know, but yeah, I'm hoping that Catley's back.
Yeah.
Mia Zawa, you're thinking about, Amanda?
Huh?
Mia Zawa.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really bad with names. Thank you. Yes.
That's fine.
Isn't it rumored that Leo's going to be back too? Williamson potentially be back?
There's a chance, but I don't think they start Leah Williamson. She's not available on Saturday apparently, so yeah, I think that's too much of a big game to bring her straight back in for personally. Just want to say evening to Darren. Hope you're all right, mate. What have you missed? Not much, just our captain signing a 1-year extension, as you do. And now we're talking about the Chelsea game where we all got soaked, but we saw us beat Chelsea. Keep tuned, Darren, because you're going to be shocked. You're going to be shocked. We're chatting Stina. We're going to be chatting Stina, and it'll be positive, Darren. So keep watching. And
also morning to Mark as well. Mark is in as well. So yes.
Yeah, Mark. Hope you're doing it all right, mate. Thank you for watching. Obviously, just want to say to people, please remember to subscribe to the channels. So that's the Arsenal Women Chat Show, the Mr. Arsenal podcast, and Highbury Fans Forever. I think that's the first time I got it right. So that's positive. So yeah, please hit that subscribe button because it really, really helps. Ryan, coming to you. Obviously, I just want to talk about Stina Blackstenius. As people know, I'm not the biggest fan, but I have to hold my hands up. I think recently she has improved quite a lot with her holding up the ball, and just the way she's been playing in the team. Would you agree with that? And obviously she's got another big goal, but her holding up play has really helped us attacking wise.
Yeah, I do agree with that. But also, she's a big game. She's proving she's a big game player. So since he's joined us, he's always scored goals against the big teams in the big games when we need them most. Champions League final, Gav. I'm gonna keep saying that. And again, Champions League against Chelsea is a big game at home. They're there for the taking, and again, she uses the best of her ability. The ball came in, and what else can you say? Like I think BX said in the watch on in the chat, like she's our clutch player. In the moment, she has the clutch moments, and you need that player. And as frustrating, even again for myself, I know you have your faults, but even myself, she gives us frustration. The offside, stay on side sometimes, please read the line. But no, again, take that away. There's a great player there, and we're seeing a bit more of it in terms of the hold-up plays you mentioned and helping out the attack in that sense. But more importantly, she's scoring the big goals in the big moments when we need her most.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think, like Dorian said, even her first touch was good.
Yeah.
But I get she does score in those big big games and the clinical. I think what was frustrating me was like there were some chances that were easier to miss. So I mean that used to frustrate me, but I think her all round play now is really, really improved. So do I think that, like, obviously you're seeing Russo drop back in the 10, Stina playing through the middle. I don't actually expect to see that on Saturday. Just because I don't think we need to. I think you could just. There's a couple of people you could rest in that. It's Spurs. So, but yeah, I think obviously talking about Stina, obviously she's kind of putting money where her mouth is, like with the goals now. So then people like Darren and Scott will be happy because they think I have an agenda and hate Stina, which I don't. If Stina scored the rest of the goals of the season, I would not care because she's winning Arsenal games. So, but Catherine, Dorian asked you about your stat on the crowd.
Yep, I did drop it in the chat, but for those of you that aren't on the women's chat show YouTube comment section, across the 4 games that happened in the midweek, there were 34,892 fans that attended the games. The Arsenal game accounted for 51.8% of those fans. So for those of you on Twitter who criticized Arsenal for only selling 18,000 tickets and having 18,000 fans in attendance, I'd like you to go look at the Old Trafford numbers because they didn't even break 8,000. I'd like you to look at the El Clasico because they didn't even sell out their stadium. Mind you, they're in a 6,400 seater, but they didn't even sell out. And look at Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg had like 1,600 fans in the stands. Like,
sorry, I was watching a podcast last night on YouTube based on women's football. And there's this guy called Paul. He has this weekly thing of he has a dig, and his dig this week at Arsenal was, isn't it worrying that their attendances are getting lower and lower game by game? Hang on, against West Ham we had just shy of 30,000 on a Saturday, but on a Tuesday on a school night, not even a half term release, on a normal Tuesday night when it's school night for most kids that would want to go to that game. We've got 18,000 people in the stadium.
Yeah.
But And as you say,
We're meant to have
50
over 40,000 on Saturday. Or it might even be
Oh,
higher
yeah,
now. But
probably will be now as
Yeah.
well. But it's just the laziness from certain, not just
from
rival
certain
fans,
people
podcasters,
saying like, oh, Arsenal,
cheap shots.
they went from selling out the Emirates and having 60,000 fans in the stands. Well, who was the opponent, and two, it was probably a Saturday.
Yeah.
A Saturday at a decent start time, not a noon start time. So there's different factors that have to go into that. I mean, someone had even mentioned they were like the tube strikes were scheduled to happen, and people were like, okay, well, if the tube's down, then I'm not going to be able to get down or get back home. So I'm going to say I can't attend the game, so I'm not even going to get a ticket. And then it's like, okay, yeah, they canceled the strike or whatever. I'm clearly not from England, so I have no idea what's going on over there other than what people are saying on Twitter about the tube strikes. But there's different factors that play into getting fans in the stand. I guarantee you, of the however many tickets Chelsea have somehow sold for the Wednesday night game, I will put a decent chunk of change out there and say that at least 55% of the fans in the stands will be Arsenal fans, because all I've seen from Chelsea in promoting games at the Bridge, and mind you, it's really just people walking on the street around the stadium. It is Arsenal players that they are putting up there, not their own players, because they know that, oh well, if we're playing Arsenal, we're going to be able to get more bodies in the stand. So I'd say from an attendance standpoint that Arsenal did pretty good. They if you take the other three games combine their attendance, the Arsenal Chelsea game had 1,282 more people than all three games combined. Old Trafford had the second most at 7,513.
Yeah, man.
And I'm sorry, you're expecting Chelsea. You are expecting to do what Arsenal is doing and say, yeah, next season for the WSL we'll be playing at the Bridge. You can't even sell 9,000 tickets for anything.
That's because they've got to respect the stadium.
Yeah,
They need to respect the stadium, and they'll be fine.
It will probably cost a lot more money to have the stadium open for the women to be playing there every single week than what they are going to be generating in ticket sales. And that's just the harsh reality for that little team that's in full.
So even last season, they were walking the league. They won the treble and all that, invincible treble, whatever. They used our players as a promotion for the Stamford Bridge game.
Yeah.
Not their players. Us. Hi. But hey, Chelsea are bigger apparently.
Supposedly.
Yeah. Just want to say hi to a couple of the new people in the chat. So please hit that subscribe button on the channels. That really, really helps. I think Darren's asked you if you can do an NWSL roundup, Catherine.
Keep your eyes on that, Darren. Me and Catherine may have something lined up in the next couple of weeks in the NWSL on the new channel.
Yeah, so keep your eyes peeled. I'll come to you, Laura. Obviously, friend of the podcast, Chloe Kelly. What a girl. Since I
excuse me.
Yeah, she's good.
You want me to backtrack on some of your recent comments?
I'm getting to it. So yeah, she apart from the last two shows that she watched, she's realised actually for the Samba Ribbon to play, she needs to run down the win and score. So she scored 4 goals in the last week. Another great goal on Tuesday. What do you think the difference is? Do you think it's obviously she's just getting over her injury, or do you think are we playing more to? Is it just a run of games? What's your thoughts with that?
Yeah, obviously Chloe has been put in a bit of a difficult predicament of having to be put in constantly at the moment. Obviously, Caitlin Ford was away. Olivia Smith, for some weird reason, can't play a full 90 minutes. I don't know why that is. Of course, then Beth was injured, so Chloe obviously had to come into that as well. And she really hasn't had a chance to really do what obviously the likes of Leah Williamson's been doing in terms of her injury. But I think the thing is with Chloe Kelly is it seems like in every interview she talks about obviously Renee and the people that she has around her at Arsenal. It seems like those type of people are the ones that are in her head saying, listen, look, you're good enough to play for this team. Go out there and do what you usually do. And I don't think that was something she was getting at City. And I think that was why, obviously, she went into the kind of state that she went into before she signed for Arsenal. And many other players will say, like, when you're injured, the greatest thing that we have round about us at Arsenal is the people round about us that support us in terms of getting us back up onto our feet and getting us to where we need to be. And it's been so refreshing over the last few games to see Chloe Kelly step back into that role of being not, I wouldn't even just say being that great winger. She's also, I noticed in the game the other night, she's also adjust her position. She's a bit like Beth Mead in terms of she doesn't always want to take a player on down the wing. She wants to pull into the middle, and then obviously that's where she's been getting her shots off. And of course we've seen that, on Tuesday night, where she just thought, do you know what, I've got space in the middle of the pitch here, I'm just going to shoot this. And of course, luckily enough, Hannah Hampton isn't quick enough to get to our bottom right-hand corner, and it goes into the back of the net. Now, what annoys me is watching that on TV when Lauren James scored her goal, how much the pundits and the commentators were so far up her arse, so far up Lauren James's arse. Oh, she's spectacular, she's this, she's that, and forgot about
What
the way Chloe Kelly took her goal.
What can't she do?
And forgot about how Chloe Kelly took her goal and how spectacular her goal was. But they didn't big that up the way they bigged up Lauren James's goal. So what was the two differences? What, because Lauren James tipped it over a goalkeeper?
Yeah,
No
but
offence, but Hannah Hampton
Borba
should
should have
have got
saved that.
I will
Yeah.
say I did appreciate how quiet Jen Beattie was while her co-commentator was just going off on Lauren James. That's the one nice thing that I got to listen to, is just Jen Beattie being completely quiet. Well, Lauren James, what can't she do? She's the best thing ever. No, she's not.
We'll come to Lauren James. I do like Austin's comment though. I do like that comment. But call me a genius, so yeah, keep them going.
I wouldn't go as far as genius, Austin.
Here we go. Yeah, hosts the show. She thinks she knows it all now. No. But yeah, coming to the goal, obviously, Amanda, I've got quite a criticism with the Chelsea goal. Fine, I think we all know what Lauren James can do, right, when she's playing, including stamping. But we won't go there. But the goal, obviously, you see it and you think, oh, it's out of nothing. But surely Borba should be doing better with that.
Yeah, probably. Like, I'd probably have to declare here that, like I've heard people say on this podcast before, there's just certain players that you just don't like. I think someone said they didn't like Stanway just because, for no particular reason, just because. Have that with Lauren James. Don't know why. Just think, nah, just so. Yeah, it was, it was decent, but Borba should have done a bit better with it. Just find watching Lauren James play just meh. But, yeah.
And then you on the podcast, Amanda, because I'm not a fan of Lauren James either. Probably
Hey.
probably a bit too much.
I think you'll find 90% of the Arsenal fans are not a fan of Lauren James. She's just as shit as her brother. Simple.
But you know, like some players, you can watch them, like, you know, for another team, and you think, no, like, I hate your team, like, I don't like you, but God, you're good, like, you know, and you can say that. But with her, I'm just like, nah, just no.
I don't see. All right, see. So you and George are of the mind that Borbe should have done better. I think the problem was more in the communication between, I think it was Beth and Mariona, and actually clearing the ball out of the box properly. Because as soon as James was able to actually get the shot off, there, to me, I don't think any keeper could have saved that unless they were about 12 feet tall and had an absolutely massive wingspan to just be able to just raise their hand up and down.
She just puts her
Yeah.
arm up. Like I don't get where people are getting with this. Like
I think part of it though is that she
I
was
think Van
having to,
Donsela
run
saves
across from like one goalpost to the other and try and jump up. I mean, we've seen Zinsberger make, I don't want to say similar goal or similar mistakes / saves, or the why did you just stick your arm out?
There was no power. It just went over her head. It was Manu all over again. Personally, for me, like I think Van Donsela saves that. I don't get everyone comparing Borba saying that she's our new number one. I think that's absolutely mental.
I do think the weather conditions at the time did play a part as well in terms of the wind and the rain. Like literally, the ball's been lobbed in. She's trying to get across, and she just misjudged it at the last second.
I've been one of the ones that's been very highly on shouting on Boba being at the moment very undroppable, and we spoke about this obviously the other night when Dorian was in saying obviously Van Domsler over Boba in terms of how Daphne plays, and the two of them have very specific ways of playing in goalkeeping, and of course Dorian made the comment of Boba is constantly on a line, and I think that was a problem with that goal. She was too close to a line. She was too close to the post that obviously the ball had bounced under and was able to get behind Annika Bobby, and I think and that brought me back to Dorian's comment in terms of saying, I think you've got to come off your line for that in terms of getting to reach that, because you should have been able to notice that ball was, as you says, that there was no power behind it. There was nothing really behind it. But in terms of clearing that ball from that box, it should have been done better.
Yeah, obviously we can come up to the conversation with the goalkeepers, but I think she's a decent goalkeeper. But I think people have short memories of Van Donsela last season. Like we rushed the Van Donsela back to play in the Champions League final to win us the Champions League because she's that good. I think Borba's decent. Do I think she's at the same level when they're both fit? No chance. But maybe I'm in the Dorian camp in the minority. But
I think one of the big
things. We don't always often agree with Dorian, but I have to agree with him on that one in terms of, and even there, I know for the first goal, obviously the first goal gets dropped off, she comes off a line and completely misses it. There is obviously still little tweaks there that Boba has to make and get right, but as I say, Daphne does little daft things as well, and of course we know as well as when Manu is fit, she does little daft things. So the three of them all have their different things. It's just about obviously trying to get them to the best of their ability to be able to be a top class goalkeeper and not have us argue over who's going to be number one.
Yeah, and I think she was lucky. Sorry, Catherine.
I was just going to say, I think one of the biggest things to also remember is that being a goalkeeper is one of the hardest spots to get back when you are coming back from injury, because you don't play for 60 minutes and then you swap out like you do with any other outfield position. So it's you are in the net for 90 minutes or you're not. And that's, I think, one of the hardest things of like, we're not going to see, Borbe play the first half and then Daphne come on in the second half. Like, it's just not going to be seen. It just, you want to save that sub. I mean, unless, massive injury happens, but it's like, that's where it's like, okay, so when will Daph come back and when will she be in the starting spot? But right now, based off of maybe some of it has to do with the backline defensiveness as well as the keeper, but if you look at just the clean sheets and the even just the how goals were conceded this season so far, right now I still have to tip my hat to Borba to be starting. But that's also because Daphne's been out and recovering from injury and getting a game here, and then all right, now it's international break. Like, it's a hard right now. I think having that keeper spot and saying this is the position I want to play is probably one of the hardest things, because you could be called up to your national team as a the second or third choice keeper for the World Cup, and you'll never play a single minute.
Yeah. Evening, James. Hope you're all right as well. Obviously, going on to the obviously Russo goal, Ryan. It was a really, really important goal, obviously, but I think it was more a sucker punch, wasn't it? Because when it was 2-1, it was very tight, wasn't it? So having that 2-goal lead going into Stamford Bridge next week is so important, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree. And in terms of, obviously, as you say, at 2-1, it's tightly contested, it's tense. The longer it goes on, if it finished 2-1, they've got a chance deal, as far as I'm concerned, going into the second leg. Whereas now 3-1, 2-goal cushion, they have to beat it by 3 clear goals to go through in 90 minutes or in general. I think we've got, not completely, but I think we've got 1 foot in that semi-final, as long as we're professional in the second leg, which I think I've got 99.9%. I believe we will be. I think that could be the biggest goal of the season as it stands, in terms of just as confidence for Russo, because Russo's not had the most prolific in terms of goal scoring this season. But like we said about Stina doing the clutch player, she does score in the big games when we need them. Not as much as Stina, but still. I think the way she took it as well. The ways, I mean, who was it passed? Is it Kelly? I can't remember who passed it to her, but
it was Stina that put the ball through.
It was an amazing, Stina, but it was an amazing assist. Don't get me wrong, but to get the ball at her feet under control, and that just doesn't give Hannah Hampton a chance to position herself. Just has the shot, and that's what you want from your striker, wherever it is in the box, especially in their moments. And yeah, brilliant. I'm as I say, I'm absolutely ecstatic, and yeah, I think that goal is the difference between us having the tie all but done and having us go into next Wednesday at 2-1, panicking and stressing. I think it calms our nerves a bit. We're in control. We have more control at semi-final. Everyone's going on. They get an early goal. Okay, they get an early goal. They've still got to score 2 more goals and not concede against us. And based on this season, when we played them 3 times now, in the 3 games we played them, we've been the superior team in performance-wise in every single game. We got robbed of a win against them at the Emirates in the league from a handball, even though it literally hit her stomach. It was a handball, and then the offside. We battered them at their bridge for the first one, and God knows how long. And then buying the first 10 minutes against them on Tuesday, buying that first 10 minutes. After that, controlled the game, better team, played them off the park. And what was the best thing was, I'll say the first goal soft in terms of the first goal being disallowed was soft in my opinion. We all said it on the channel at the time to watch.
Yeah, we were very lucky.
Yeah, we held up. We were again, because it was an Arsenal Chelsea. We were very actually open and saying no, that should be a goal. We were shocked it was disallowed. But the fact the second one got disallowed and there's people questioning it, like you can't. Yes, she touched the ball before she can't. But no, she may have touched the ball. But guess what? Her studs are still up flat into a player's stomach. You can't do that.
But she was
Period.
so lucky to not get a card.
And the irony is that afterwards, I watched Tuna's bloody press conference afterwards, and literally the complaining and the irony behind her going, "Where's VAR?" Okay, where's VAR when your players should be on the pitch for the last few minutes of that game because she did what she did, accidental or not, is endangering a player, be it the goalkeeper, whoever it may have been. It happened to be our goalkeeper.
Yeah. No.
So this whole VAR is not professional enough. I'm coming across. I might be coming across bitter. Yeah, you're coming across bitter. You're a sore loser. Your arrogance came racing to the surface. The team that's won 2 Champions Leagues. The irony behind you coming in to take this club further in Europe, and the team that you're competing against domestically has gone, go away. We're giving you 18 years, or 17 years, how long it was. And now, literally, even though we weren't great in the league phase, we've come up against them in the quarterfinal, and we've shown our European pedigree. Not to take out the World Club, the World Champions thing, our European pedigree. On the European nights at the Emirates nowadays, the girls are going to turn up. We're European champions for a reason. There's a reason why this squad of Chelsea players have never won the Champions League. There's a reason why the bulk of this squad, and the most unhumble Scottish person in that squad, by the way, hasn't won a Champions League a few years ago when they played Barcelona in the final and got pumped.
Yeah.
That is fun fact about that game. That is in the modern era of the single one-off final game. That is the largest margin of victory. 4 goals.
And then also Russo's leading now, isn't she? Scored the most goals in Champions League this season as an English player, so that's something to celebrate as well.
Sitting at the top of that Golden Boot race right now by 1 goal.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a really important goal. Then all they've got to do is just go next week and be professional. Cool. We'll moving on to, obviously, we've got the North London derby on Saturday. Amanda, coming to you first. Obviously, that's still quite an important game because we want to secure second spot, so we don't have to go through any playoffs and stuff. But obviously, if we win the Champions League, we won't need to anyway. But but all jokes aside, we want to secure second. Obviously, you want to be beating Tottenham in North London derby, especially in front of a big crowd. How are you feeling about that game? Do you think we'll have many changes?
I think we're probably going to see some of maybe a couple of the Aussies, at least on the bench, I guess. I'd really like to see Samila get a start again. I think she did really well against West Ham. But I don't think we'll get too many changes. I don't think we're going to see Williamson back, maybe save her. But no, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it should be an absolute banger. I'm really looking forward to going. It's decent kickoff time as well, so don't have to get up too early. So yeah, happy days. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. I think it's a good opportunity. We were saying about Daphne. I wouldn't be surprised if Daphne gets a game on Saturday. I think if she's trying to get her fitness back, if they want to get her back playing a couple games, so Saturday could be the game for that. Laura, coming to you, obviously, we could probably rotate a couple of players, couldn't we, on Saturday? Obviously, Livy Smith didn't start, but maybe that was due to carrying an injury. But do you think she'll start on Saturday, or do you think they'll hold her back to try and attack that Chelsea defence on Wednesday? Because I think they would be petrified by her pace, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if obviously we start Olivia Smith through in the 10 possibly, in the role that Alessia Russo has obviously played, and maybe give Alessia Russo a little bit of a break. And if obviously Olivia Smith is in wanting to come off, then obviously Alessia Russo can step on and take that role. But I think she deserves a little bit of a break because as much as she hasn't, as Ryan touched on, she hasn't been prolific on goal scoring, she has still been a most important part of the way Arsenal play in terms of build up and stuff. But to be honest with you, I'm not too convinced by this Spurs team this season. I know they're higher up in the table and they have got some decent players in there, but it just seems like it comes to this part of the season, they start to fall off and fall off and fall off and fall off. And I think, and this was a pivotal role of us on Tuesday. Now, we went to the bridge and we looked at our bench and we thought, Jesus Christ, like, we can really struggle with this game. And it was all about, oh, how strong is Chelsea's bench and blah, blah, blah. And I looked at Tuesday and I thought, the roles are reversed here. Our bench is much more superior than Chelsea's bench. And I genuinely think that, obviously, going against Spurs on Saturday as well, that our bench is much more superior than Spurs' bench is going to be. And I think Bethany England is also injured as well. If I'm making that up, then somebody said the other night that in the watch along that Bethany England is obviously out injured for them. I don't know how much of that is true, so she won't be obviously playing, so the captain's out. But yeah, obviously if Caitlin Ford is fresh, then start Caitlin Ford over Chloe Kelly, and then get our wingers to tire Spurs out, and then bring on Chloe Kelly on the wing, and then she can obviously do what she does. Mariona, I think Mariona needs a break. Like she's looking really, really tired. And I think the other night that showed 100% through Mariona. I don't know, as I say, I don't know what's going on there. That if she just didn't click the other night for me. So I think maybe Mariona needs a wee change. Obviously, in the back line, we could maybe see Steph Catley coming in to replace Laia Cadena. If she's also fit and ready to go, then maybe have first start. But apart from that, I don't really want to see a big, massive change. But just a couple of people maybe getting a rest, and that's it.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but because I think for the rest of the season we need as much of the squad be firing as possible. But I wouldn't mind seeing Ford get some minutes, because I think she still can offer something for the rest of the season. And I might be wrong. Mark might be able to correct me, but I think she didn't have the worst tournament. I think she played quite well. Was it in the semi-finals? So could she come back? And I'm not saying start, obviously, but I'm saying like it's an option, isn't it, to freshen it up maybe like for the last 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you have to. It means you don't actually have to play Beth Mead or Olivia Smith for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I totally agree. And obviously as well, it doesn't look like Kyra Cooney-Cross has come back yet from obviously being away. No pictures has been put out or whatever. It was only Steph and Caitlin pictures that was put out today.
I thought I saw her on a different set of pictures. Or at least that they said that all of the Aussies were back, which is only 3 of them, but that all 3 were back, at least in London.
We'll obviously find out tomorrow in press conference who's available, who isn't, and then of course, but I really can't see Leah Williamson being back in this half. I know they're trying to get her back before this half of the international break, but I really can't. I don't want to be risking Leah Williamson anytime soon. If this injury is ongoing for Leah Williamson, as I said the other night when I was hosting the show the other night, Arsenal need to have a serious chat about Leah Williamson in terms of this injury. If it's ongoing, do we need to wait till the summer until she gets there and it's possible surgery to correct what's going on? Or is it a case of Arsenal having a chat with Leah Williamson and saying, listen, if this is an ongoing issue, we need to manage your minutes. We can't have you playing full 90-minute games as of right now. We can't have you doing it.
No. I'm a bit... Dorian and Darren are It's like Wimbledon in the chat. That's fine. But I'm a bit confused. Kev's message has confused me. He said we've lost a striker and Hunt's injured.
Yeah, so Hunt is injured for them. She's due to go through. She's a
But
defender
he
for
said
them.
we. He said we.
Yeah, we have
Well,
lost.
yeah,
a
because she
goal
likes to
scorer.
score own
No,
goals.
Hunt is injured.
Oh, okay. I thought something like that. But I thought he'd been infiltrated by a Spurs fan. Then I was getting confused, Kev. I was worried. I thought we
No,
lost you.
see, I caught his wave. It took me maybe a little bit longer than it
Yeah.
probably should have. But
Okay.
own goals are a savior and a half.
I thought Jamie O'Hara was in the chat. Then I thought, oh, there we go. Positive signs. Yeah.
Which
So
final?
obviously coming to you, Catherine. Just talking obviously about the Australian players, like we've said, Kyra probably. Oh well, Kyra isn't available, but is this the sort of game that you'd expect probably players like Steph Catley and Caitlin Ford to probably come on late in the second half just to get back into the groove with it? But it could also be a game for Palova, couldn't it?
Yeah, I think I really do want to see more from Palova. I mean, I think she was really starting to get into the Arsenal play, and that when she did her ACL. So, you know, I want to be able to see that come back. And if she's not getting on the pitch for the games, us fans can't see that. I think this could be a good game for Palova to start. It's just going to be for a matter of who, because to Laura's point, Mariona does need a break.
Yeah.
And you know, in terms of Steph and Caitlin, I honestly would not be surprised if one or both of them end up starting. I think if we can rest Chloe Kelly, and if we can continue to rest Olivia Smith, and really have both of them still fit and firing for Wednesday, I'd like them to kind of go through the motions like they're at training on Saturday, because that's kind of what this game could end up being, is kind of like a training session, much like the West Ham game was. Steph, I think I can see Steph either starting and playing 60 minutes or coming on in like the 75th. That's kind of how I'm seeing Steph playing this weekend. Sorry, Laura brought her dog in front of the microphone.
Yeah, right.
I thought the dog had something to say and provide some insight on the Aussies playing.
At least she's awake and not snoring this time.
Yeah. It must be as an exciting show. She's not falling asleep yet. Cool. Well, I'll go round to get your predictions. Ryan, I'll start with you. What's your predictions for Saturday, and who's your first goal scorer?
Oh, it's Tottenham at home. I know we drew nil early in the season at their place, so we say. I think it was 6-0. 6-0 home. Get the confidence going. Keep the confidence flowing. I think we see a hat trick as well. I don't know who, but first goal scorer, that will be Olivia Smith.
Cool. Love that. Amanda?
You.
Amanda, you're on mute.
Oh, what a rookie error.
That's all right.
Okay, yeah. So 4-0.
Yeah.
And first goal scorer, Kimmy Little on Kimmy Little Day.
I love that. That's why.
Dang it, you
That's
took
why
me
we-
for first goal
That's why
scorer.
we have Amanda on the podcast. She's been promoted. You've took over from Brother Grimsby now. Catherine?
5-0. I think I'll go. Oh, Depending, can I just say the position that our starting striker will score first, whether that's Steven or Russo.
I want names.
You want an actual?
I want
You know
a
what?
name.
I'll do Russo with an assist from Kimmy Little,
Yeah.
and I feel like we're gonna see at least 2 goal involvements from Kimmy Little.
Cool. So if you're doing fantasy football, get her in your team just for this weekend. Or while you can do fantasy football anyway. Laura, what we're going for?
Depending on what goalkeeper we put in, I'm going to go 4-1. If we put Daffy in, then we're getting a clean sheet. If we put Bobby in, we get that one against us.
That means they'd have to have a shot, though. That means they'd have to have a shot, though.
They could.
No,
I don't know. West Ham only got
on the
one
way
off on the
Arsenal
weekend.
on the way Arsenal play, they probably.
I hate to break it to people, and I'm not. I hate Spurs, but Spurs are in the women's game a lot better than West Ham.
Yeah.
So, like West Ham women are like nearly as good as Tottenham men. So,
my goal scorer is going to be Jesus Christ.
Mila.
It's Mila Holmberg, yeah. I'll go Stina Blackstenius.
Right. I'm going for a 3-0. And I'm putting it out there. Smila Holmberg is going to score because I think she plays instead of Fox. Band running, top corner, shows how to actually score a goal properly from outside the box and not lucky like Lauren James. So I'm going Smila Holmberg. And the ex-gunner, that will be your top bins from the Emirates. Cool. So thank you to everyone. Obviously, it's been a really, really good show, a packed show. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to everyone in the chat for all your nice comments and getting involved. Really, really appreciate it. Please hit the subscribe button and share if you're able to on the Arsenal Women Chat Show, the Mr. Arsenal Podcast, and Highbury Fans. Whether other 2 channels are absolutely brilliant. All the content they do. Carrying on with the content, we will have a watch-along on Saturday, I'm assuming, Ryan?
Yes, we will. Just
Right,
let fun
cool.
let you.
Right, cool. I'm glad that could have been awkward, couldn't it? So, yeah, obviously we'll have to watch it on there. If anyone wants to get involved with that, obviously reach out to us as well. I just want to say thank you to my guests. So, Amanda, amazing as always. We'll have to just start calling you Amazing Amanda. That's your new phone name. Yes. All right. So you should be honoured. I'm not normally nice to people, so
well.
you're in,
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Laura has to tell me off sometimes. That's cool. Are you at the game on Saturday, Amanda?
Yes, I am.
Cool.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Hopefully, see you there.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. Catherine, thank you as always.
Yeah, happy to be here. I know that I kind of missed my early time to get into the background of the show, but happy that I was able to still get on here and in time for the countdown to start and be able to provide some good commentary. If you didn't like it, sorry.
You're like the Kim Little.
Get over it. Get over it. I'm on
of the podcast, Catherine. Always reliable. But yeah, and Laura, thank you for everything you do. You know, I say it all the time, every week. Yeah, we'd be lost without you and with the show. So thank you.
You're very welcome, and obviously I look forward to spending a bit of time with you on Saturday because I'll be at the game. And I promised Ryan and Catherine, if they're on the watch along, that if I can get signal, I will go live from the Emirates at halftime to give you an update on things. So
sure, you turning into Austin. That's what he does.
Yeah, I do better than Austin. So Yeah.
Well, yeah, that ain't
We'll
ours,
see how
is it? Come
that
on.
goes.
Austin
So,
just
yeah.
hops in when the goal happens and then screams
Yeah.
and then disappears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless, bless him, he has a poor little headache. He knows I love him really. So obviously, and Ryan, obviously, thank you for coming on. Thanks for all the stuff you do with the channel and stuff and the watch along. So appreciate that.
No, again, thanks for having me on. I know it was the last minute I was reached out. I thought I'd
No,
do
no
it.
problem.
Because I really wanted to talk about Chelsea. So I love beating Chelsea. It's been a while since I've been
I
on
know.
it. So
Evening,
Okay.
Gav.
Evening,
It's like
Gav.
what we
Is
do
it
with
your-
Gav. What we do with Gav now is, for those who don't know, it's like the I'm a Celebrity when Ant and Dec used to say evening Prime Minister all the time. So we, whenever Chelsea comes on, we talk about Chelsea, have a bit of little Gav banter, but he's hiding it. So the only two people I know from Chelsea is Gav and Basil, unless they're the same one. We never know. We'll never know. They could be the same person.
until we see one of them on the channel at some point.
Yeah.
We'll never
It's
know.
a bit like Lewis Hamilton and Theo Walcott. You see them both in the same place. So, yeah. But yeah, on that note, before we all get banned and cancelled, hope everyone has a lovely weekend and come on, you Gunners.
Bye. Thanks.